All right. I'm going to take a second to get this working. And I know I'm early and late at the same time because I was supposed to do this an hour ago. But as you may not know, I'm having so many problems with my laptop because I need to buy a new one. And so I'm not totally sure if I'm even on here, but I think it's working. So if you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear it. I'm so sorry. And I would love to hear where you are hanging with me from. So I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's kind of nice outside. Like I'm not mad about it. It doesn't feel like Christmas, but I'm not mad about it. But let me know where you were from. And I'm trying to get my live chat going. I think I did something weird to it. So I'm going to just get this going. Oh, Los Angeles, Wake Forest. I feel like there's a big college out there, right? I'm just trying to read through some of the places where you guys are. Yes, I'm a little bit of a mess because my computer is having problems, and I had so many people like donate to help me buy a new one, which is so nice, and I'm so grateful. But apparently, the processing power that I need to edit, like I didn't take that into account. So now I'm trying to figure it out. So I couldn't get this bad boy up and running, but we got it up and running. Yeah, so I would love to see. So Wake Forest, New York City, nice to see you. Lilburn, Georgia, Roanoke, Virginia, Tucson, Arizona, and it's raining. No way. I'm going out to Scottsdale in Phoenix in like 2 weeks. I'm so excited about it. It's going out west is like my favorite, and there's a restaurant that I love out there, and it just closed. Like literally, I was flying out for their food, and it's closed. I think it's Frank and Lupe's, and I can't believe it's closed. So I'm still coming, but now I don't know where to eat. So United Kingdom, that's awesome. I don't know what time it is in London. I feel like it's tomorrow in London. So maybe you're joining us from the future. I don't know about the ads. Someone's saying there's a lot of ads. I wish I could figure out how to turn them off. If I can figure it out midstream, I will. I don't want to lose you guys. But yeah, YouTube is brutal with ads. So I wanted to show you the Library of Congress page and kind of chill with you over there. But I also wanted to ask you some questions and just hang out. And one of the things that I have been seeing on census records while I was doing family research is seeing my ancestors' jobs, which I just think is so interesting because some of the jobs just do not exist anymore, right? It doesn't exist. Like one of my great uncles lived in Bastrop, Louisiana, and he worked in a paper factory. And it kind of feels like Dunder Mifflin vibes a little bit. But like when the paper factory closed down, like the like towns just collapsed. And my dad's grandpa was from Southern Italy, and he came over in 1905 or something, and he was a tailor. He made suits, and the family story is that the mob approached him about making suits for them, and supposedly he said no, which I'm like, I thought that was the whole thing. It's an offer you can't refuse. So I don't know if he was actually making suits for the mafia. And now that I think about it, I think that's very likely, but we didn't know about it. But my family suddenly on that side had money, even though they were really poor immigrants. Now I'm working through this online live. So I'm curious if you guys know what your ancestors' jobs are. If you drop it in the chat, I'd love to share it. I think that would be interesting. Someone said they got this idea from a genealogy community on Blue Sky and make a spreadsheet chart of all your ancestors' known jobs. That is so cool. So I haven't been on Blue Sky. I still call X Twitter. Like I don't use Instagram anymore. It's been like years. Probably for the best, but I do feel like I miss out on some things because I'm like not connected the same way. Mr. Rawwood said my family's from Nacogdoches, Texas. That's awesome. Did you see the video I put out yesterday? It's kind of researching my family through the ancestry journeys from the new update. Let's see. GR Awakened Dreams said my grandparents were an engraver and an electrician. Engraver. I think like a jewelry engraver. My mind immediately goes to tombstones, like chiseling away like a tombstone, but that can't be it. It's probably a jewelry engraver, right? And Eric Kidder said, I have a classmate whose grandpa was rumored to be killed by the mafia. Yeah, it's super interesting. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole when I was researching the Black Hand, I think it's called, in Louisiana. It was you know the Southern Italians that were immigrating over here, and some of them like weren't so good, right? And so it's interesting to think about that. I don't know if you would know if your family was in the mob necessarily, right? Maybe it's on a need to know basis, but now I'm like gonna have to write that down and look into that a little bit long. My grandfather, unfortunately, it would be his dad. He passed away, so I wouldn't be able to ask him, but I'm gonna have to talk to my dad about it. See, someone said my great grandma was an author. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see, I think you do engraving cuts to make pictures that can be printed over and over. Oh yeah, okay, that makes way more sense. That's a really cool job. That's a really cool job. Um, see, someone was saying, did you grow up in a household with a private library? No, but I used all my money to buy books. Like that's what I would did because I was kind of a I don't know. Like I liked having friends and going out and doing stuff, but when I was young, I was kind of shy, and so I just spent like my lunchtime reading. Like when kids are playing soccer, I would be reading. So that's what I that's what I did. But I've tried to really push myself to uh, be better about engaging. But I still like getting on this stream. The like I love it once I'm on, but the stress of like being seen by people live and I can't edit, it's scary. It's scary for sure. Let's see. Pentazor is asking, am I offended by Italian mafia movies and TV series now? Actually, there's literally nothing you could say that would offend me. Literally about anything, I think, at this point. When I was younger, not so much, right? But it's like, what's to be offended by? You know, it's like people have different opinions. I hear so many stupid opinions being on YouTube. My gosh, you're just a magnet for people to share their opinions. But I mean, it doesn't offend me. And my brothers, I would say my brothers would identify as Italian American. Like that's what they're most comfortable with. And that's what they've known. And all the Italian American boys I knew in New York loved mafia stuff, which is kind of strange, right? But they were really into it. Um, do I believe the mob played a role in the JFK and MLK junior assassinations? I don't want to get kicked off YouTube for answering that, but I don't think it was the mob, but I do think it was the same groups, for sure, right? probably for sure. Um, am I related to George A. Romero? No, but let me tell you a funny story. I shared this, I think, on the last stream. So Romero is my married name. My husband's last name is Romero. It's from his Mexican side of the family, but I was doing my genealogy and I had a ton of Romeros just on my mom's side. And I was very scared that I was related to my husband because his Romero side was from Guadalajara, Mexico. And I saw mine were too. And so I had him take a DNA test and I did the Jed match thing where we could see if we were related. And that didn't matter at that point, but I was like, I need to know. We were not related, which is good, but maybe he's related to George Romero. And that's what I know of. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't know. When I first took the 23andMe test 14 years ago, it was set up a little bit differently. And it kind of led with your haplogroup. And mine was my maternal one. And mine was C1C, which is like indigenous to the Americas. But because it was connected to C, which is an Asian haplogroup, I literally opened up my 23andMe account. It's like, congratulations, you're related to Yo-Yo Ma. And I was like, what? Like, what? And I don't think it meant I was really related to him. It was like really bad marketing. And it's like always stayed with me. Where was I an introvert? I'm curious. Tell me in the chat and I'll chat for those of you who can't respond on there. If you've taken a Myers-Briggs personality test. The Myers-Briggs personality test, I think it's called like the MBTI tests. And I took that and I find them to be extremely accurate. And I'm not a person that would put a lot of stock, I think, in that stuff. But when I've compared it to other people and myself, it's been really helpful. And so I was an ENFJ on that one. And so I'm not an introvert. Like the E stands for extrovert, but I think if you just don't have a lot of confidence, whether or not you're an introvert or extrovert kind of doesn't matter. But it was more like, do you get your energy from being around people, or do you have your energy kind of sucked out when you're around people? And so when I'm around people and I don't feel so self-conscious, like I'm having a great time, then I feel really like filled up. But like my husband is more of an introvert. Like he can hang with people, but he'll for recharging for him, it's like he has to be alone or just hanging out at home. So I'm curious if you guys have taken that. Let's see. INFJ. That's wait, see, INFJ. My husband's an INTJ. So I love the introverts. I think because they're just so calming. Like I'm just not calm, and so it's nice to be around someone whose energy is just like very calm. I love that. Um, INFJ, INTJ. Okay, so someone just said they were an INTJ. So if you aren't familiar with the Myers-Briggs, so that first letter is introvert or extrovert, and then it kind of explains how you interact with the world. And again, it's obviously nobody fits perfectly into a box, but I have found these to be extremely accurate and super helpful for understanding yourself. So if you haven't taken it, take it. I'm pretty sure it's free online. Super fun. Let's see. Am I artistic at all? I used to play the piano, and I like writing. I've had lots of stuff published that I've written. And looking back, I'm amazed that I put it out there because it's so embarrassing to put your stuff out there. I'm not like gifted artistic. Like some people, you know, they just like pick up a pen and it's amazing, or they pick up a paintbrush, it's amazing. I'm more just like I like trying new things. So I will try, you know, a painting or whatever. And it's not going to be good, but I like it. And so I think that's fun, but I'm never going to make it as an artist at all. Let's see. I'm not going to read out the whole username, but someone who does not like Bill Gates said, "Why are Italian Americans obsessed or take pride in being 100% Italian?" This is not incorrect. So I've shared about my dad on here, my darling dad, who all of his grandparents are from southern Italy. Like this man is not lying when he says he's Italian. But the pride that he has in being Italian, I don't think I've ever seen anyone be more proud of their background than an Italian guy. I haven't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And so it was hard for me to show my dad his DNA test. Like it was kind of hard. It was also, I was a little nervous because when we first took it, I think he was 30% Egyptian, and he had Iranian and Southern Italian. I mean, his family's from Italy. But like that was a lot of Egyptian. But I don't know what it is. They are very proud. They're very proud. Let's see, Richard Williams. Hi from Copper Hill. I can't remember where Copper Hill, Tennessee is, but there's a friend on here who always says hi, who's also in Tennessee. So that's awesome. Alfredo Martinez said, "Do I miss Staten Island?" No, because I'm from upstate New York. I'm from like the Albany, Saratoga, Capital Region area. And I like taking the train down to New York City. It was really fun to take the Amtrak, but I never grew up in the city. And people who are not from New York do not really understand that New York is not just those boroughs. Like it's not just Manhattan. And this might be a sad fact, but I've never been inside the Statue of Liberty. I went a couple times to go, and it was under construction. And then we went again, like maybe a year or two after 9/11, when we went to kind of go see Ground Zero. And it was when they were still working on all that stuff, like the memorial there. And I think the Statue of Liberty was closed. So I've never been inside of it, which is sad because I'm about to turn 40. So I need to do that. It's like a bucket list thing I need to do. Let's see here. Did I know the Statue of Liberty was a Black woman? No. But probably because I've never been inside it. I don't know. I don't know. Do I think New York accents are dying? I talked about this in another video. Maybe it was like 2 or 3 days ago. I feel like all accents are dying, which is a real bummer. I think it must just be from everybody watching like reels and just kind of having that, I don't know what you would call it. A person smarter than me would be able to explain this better, but it just feels to me like regional accents are kind of going away, and it's just kind of like normalizing into one standard like TikTok voice. I don't know. I don't have TikTok on my phone, but you know what I mean by like that voice. And that's kind of sad, isn't it? It's super sad. Can I trace celebrities' family trees? I've done a couple of them. I'm trying to think who I did. I did Elvis. I did Johnny Depp a little bit. I can't remember who else. I haven't done too many, but it was. I've done a couple. And I don't know if you guys have seen the AI slop channels, but ever since I put that video out about them, I've been getting a million recommended to me. So I don't know if you guys are seeing that, and it's not just like Black history. It's like literally every history now. I'm getting. I'm seeing the thumbnails are like borderline. I would say they're shocking. Some of them. And it's usually World War II ones. At least that's what I'm getting. Even though I don't really watch anything about World War II, but I'm seeing a lot of them. And yeah, they're getting crazier and crazier. And like at this point, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we do. I don't know what we do. I'm trying to watch more channels that are just people just sitting and walking around, or maybe like walking around with their cameras or whatever, because I would rather see a video where someone like sneezes and makes a mistake talking and just being like, well, this is a real person who I might not agree with, but I can connect on some level, than the crazy videos I'm getting served. Like really, they're pretty shocking. I said, yeah, I did a video on Elvis, but I think that was like a year or two ago. Let's see here. Oh, thank you so much. I think it's C Merit. Thank you so much. Brennis the Menace. I give him rural vibes. Rural vibes. I can't even say rural. I don't live rural now because I'm in Nashville, and I wasn't really rural in New York. But for a while, I lived out west, and I also lived on the Navajo reservation because I taught out there at a government school for a while. And when I say that was rural, it was maybe 3 hours to Walmart. So I had to do my grocery shopping maybe like once every 2 weeks. I would make the drive with one of my friends to go grocery shopping and leave the res. And we would so we lived there at the school, and you would walk out at night and you were just surrounded by mesas, and the stars were crazy, and it was amazing. And I miss it so much. I loved it. So I did like that rural. I like being out west rural for sure. Let's see here. You seem from the city to me. I don't know. I don't know what I am. I'm just normal. I'm like Miss Normal. Let's see. I saw your AI slot video. I'm glad you shed light on those topics. The videos are driving me crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I think what was more upsetting to me is getting served the video and then looking at the comments. As I was reading the comments, I could feel my blood pressure like going up. I'm like, oh, all these people think this is real. How dumb. And then like, oh no, all these people think this is real. And you just feel like, man, like we're so cooked, aren't we? We're so cooked. Have you looked into the whole Tataria mud flood theory? Tiffany Clayton said, would be interested in your thoughts, especially with the whole Coney Island babies and orphan trains. No. Okay. Tataria, is that, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is that where the world was all connected, or it's like one of those things where it's like the world was flat and connected, or I'm gonna have to write it down. I think I started getting really into videos on conspiracy theories because I think they're fun and I like being pushed outside my comfort zone, but I'm not totally familiar with that. So I'm gonna have to look that up. What do I think of schools banning phones in every instance from Pentazoid 111? I hate people being on their phones. And I have like actively started to do this thing where like if I'm with a group of people, like I put my phone away, or I put it in my pocket, or actually not my pocket because I feel like that's not good. I put it in my purse or whatever. And it's amazing how many people just have it out the whole time. I'm like, we're talking, or you're talking to me, but you're also doing like this. And it's not like these are like brain surgeons who are like, hold on a second, I got to make sure that I don't need to go into surgery right now. It's really shocking and sad to me. So I don't like the phones. And if I was still teaching in the classroom, I wouldn't want them out. I don't know what you do though. I don't know what you do because like everyone has one now, right? Let's see. F. Austin said, thinking of ethnicity in modern terms of culture, tradition, practices like non-genetics, how would you describe your ethnicity? Sorry if you've answered this before. Um, so I know this isn't the right answer, but like when I get stopped on the street, which weirdly happens a lot, I can't imagine stopping someone and be, excuse me. Um, I usually just say I'm from New York. I know that that doesn't like scratch the itch, but I feel like that explains the way I interact with the world, if that makes sense. Um, and then I would have said Italian American, but if I'm being honest, we didn't get a lot of that at all. Like we did a name that like we grew up thinking, I'm Italian American, but we really don't have anything from that. So I really grew up feeling kind of a little bit lost at sea because it's one of those things where some people like it doesn't matter what your background is, just be a good person. I agree with that. Like do that, but you do feel a little bit lost at sea. At least maybe some personality types. Maybe it goes back to the personality types, but I felt a little bit lost as a kid and as a teenager, even in college, when people would ask me and I didn't know how to answer. Um, my one of my good friends, my first year of college, was like hanging out in my dorm room, and she like said something off the cuff about like, well, because you're half Japanese, and I remember being like, what? What are you talking about? I'm not half Japanese, and she's like, yes, you are. I was like, no, I'm definitely not. And then I wasn't sure because I actually had never done a DNA test and I didn't actually know. And so that doesn't feel good. So um, I feel like that I've gone past that a little bit because even if I don't necessarily subscribe to a thing, I at least know what my ancestors were, and I feel good about that. Let's see here. What is going on in the chat? It's hard to do it by myself. Um, yeah, ethnicity is so interesting. I do think it's interesting. And I like hearing other people's thoughts about that. Um, let's see. WLMG. What do you think about it being a slur to call Hermione a mudblood? Honestly, she was as neither of her parents were magical. So Harry Potter, I didn't get into, and when I say get into, I actually didn't read the books or watch the movies until I was like 35. And I don't know why. It was just, does this happen to you guys where like everybody liked the thing? And because everybody liked it, including some like people that were annoying, I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to like that thing. Anyway, I read the books and I was like blown away. And I was like, wow, these are like kind of insightful in some ways. The mudblood thing is funny though. I think it was interesting because there will always, in order to have an in group, there has to be an out group. Like if you're going to have a group that's pure, the reason it's pure is because it's not this other group, right? And so even in the magical world, it's like that has to exist. It has to, air quoting, has to exist, which I thought was funny. And she ended up being like one of the most amazing, I think she's considered a witch, and one of the most amazing ones in the book. So it kind of didn't matter, which I like that. But I was like 20 years behind Harry Potter. um, let's see here. Let me go down. Have I started studying Italian? Mm-mm. Actually, my grandpa spoke Neapolitan. Is that what you say? That's not right. Neapolitan is the ice cream. See, look, I don't know anything. It's not Neapolitan. Oh my gosh. His family's from Naples. Someone's can correct me in the chat. But anyway, he that was the dialect that they spoke, which I've heard is really hard. And I really grew up. He did speak. Well, I call Italian, but I realize now it wasn't. But man, he would say "Mamma Mia" nonstop. Like you want to talk about cliche? I would tell him something like, "Oh, Grandpa, this happened at school." He'd be like, "Mamma Mia!" about it. I mean, like it wasn't a joke. He was not making fun of himself. Literally, this is all real. So I love that about him, that he was just being himself, and that was who he was. Let's see. Can you talk about Jane Atwell Robinson? Oh, good to see you. Sometimes can you talk about tragedy names? And if you're not in the chat, it's these names that are spelled really, really crazy spellings of names. There was a whole thing I read today about lemon, and people were mocking it. It's a name for boy and girl in my family since the 1800s. Yeah, the tragedy names are interesting. We ended up naming all 3 kids after their great grandparents or our great grandparents, or some they have all family names, which means that they have names that are from like 100 years ago, which is cool. But I like that they have family names. But I didn't see that thing about lemon. That's super interesting. I did a video a week or so ago about Melungeon names, and if you're kind of looking to see if you have Melungeon heritage, one of the many things to kind of look for in the body of evidence are names that are either like very biblical names, like Hezekiah, things like that, or names like Constance, purity, chastity. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones like that, but which was super interesting. So I wonder if those would count as that. Let's see. Was my grandpa a fan of Mario? I don't even think he knew what that was. Like, I merely. It's so hard to imagine this now. But this grandpa was born in 1925. This man never had a computer. This man had no computer. This man had no email address. You could not text this man. That never existed. He passed away in 2008 when I was like 20. 18, 19, 20, something like that. He passed away right around there. And yeah, I mean, he had a landline, like you call him on his landline. And this landline had a cord. Like he didn't even have a cordless phone, I think. So no, he didn't know what Mario was, like from like Mario and Luigi. No. Let's see here. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, so it was Neapolitan language. That's good because it's horrible to say things on here and be like totally wrong. So, someone said my mother's name is Constance. I think that's a really cool name. I really like it. Let's see. I didn't see Daniel, my husband's on here. Hi, he's watching the kids right now, so I can do this, which is awesome. And I did have stuff I wanted to chat about, but I just want to answer a few more of these. DT22. How do you feel about someone with Melungeon hair getting a tattoo based on being Melungeon? Is that too much? Okay, I am going to share a tattoo story with you guys. Actually, I really should have like put this behind a paywall, but we'll just do it. So when I was, okay, I'm going to tell the whole story, but really how it happened. When I was 17, my best friend at the time was also 17, and her dad owned a tattoo parlor. And now you're not really supposed to get a tattoo until you're 18, I think legally, because no one signed for me. But for my birthday, but it was before my birthday, my best friend asked, like, do you want to get a tattoo? And I had never really thought about getting a tattoo before. I mean, I only have one. I'm going to tell you, it's the worst tattoo in the world. But I just thought, yeah, like, let's do that, because my personality is I will just say yes and then worry about what happens later. So like that's good and bad. Like I don't have analysis paralysis. I'm like, yes, let's go do it. Yes, let's travel there. Yes, let's get a tattoo. I don't even have a plan. So I went to that tattoo parlor and they gave this, again, I had no smartphone. Okay. I didn't like have a special tattoo plan. They had like some books and I like went through the books and I was like, oh, I like what this means. You guys, I literally have, it's about this big. I have a Japanese tattoo. That's probably why my friend thought I was half Japanese. I had a Japanese tattoo on my lower back. Like it could not be more trashy. And it means sincerity, which is meaningful to me. I like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a train wreck of a tattoo. And I went home and I told my parents, and my mom was like, my parents are real chill. And they're like, listen, like that was real dumb because you're going to be 45 one day. It's going to be all stretched to heck. And yeah, that's what you're going to have. And so here I am. And almost not quite 45, but wish I didn't get that tattoo. Anyway, I would say be really careful about getting a tattoo because it's crazy how much we change, even like year to year or in 5 years or 10 years. And I'm not saying I'm against tattoos. I actually have seen so many beautiful ones that I think, man, that person's rocking that tattoo. But if I could go back, I would not have this tattoo. Because you can see it in like a bathing suit. And I forget I have it. And then I remember, I'm like, oh, I feel like a total goof. Let's see. Next Lifetime said, my grandpa lived 1934, 2017, never used a computer or cell phone. He rebuked it. I love that. And I do wish that we, I do, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like technology, there's like good technology and I get that, but it would be really nice to not have any of it too. Um, like this is cool. Like I love being able to connect with people all around the world, but I don't know. Things life had a different texture back then. So yeah. All right, let me see. So anyway, back to your tattoo. I would say plan your tattoo about your Melanesian heritage and wait a year and see how you feel in the year. And if you're like thinking about that, wow, I can't wait to get that tattoo, I say, okay, like, but I wouldn't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Let's see. Yeah, tramp stamp. I know it's terrible. Yeah, so I wouldn't get another tattoo based on that experience. Have I done an episode about the Black Romani of Louisiana? No, I'm writing that down. There is a connection to Melungeons there. I know there is someone who's much smarter than me showed me that, and I forgot about that, so I'm going to write that down. Let's see, Winslow. I think this is Winslow Red Cross. I'm related to the Melungeons, Danielle. Have you referred? Oh, you referred to your Chavis relatives. We're likely related. Yeah, the Chavis or Chavez, depending how they spell it. That was really cool to find out. And that line actually goes out to Virginia. And I think they're related to the Powhatan tribe. Is that how you say it? But I haven't done a lot of work on that yet. But it's super interesting to see it go back to kind of like the beginning of the colonies here and the beginning of all of that. This is a huge important thread of our now American story. Let's see. Just enough 215. Which area of history is your specialty? Well, I went to college for Russian and Soviet history, and I loved that, and took Russian and all that. And I was the only like non-Slavic student in like most of my classes, so that was fun. But I love American history, and I mean, I love history because to me, it's just people's stories, and I like that right now. If I meet someone out in the world and they're telling me their story, like I love hearing that. And so, but my specialty, I don't know. I guess right now, I mean, I'm doing so much in Louisiana just because it's so important to me. But Russian history is really interesting. Soviet history is really interesting, and you find when you're doing that the dates change, but the circumstances just kind of keep happening over and over again. So, let's see here. Have I read the book Power Broker? No, I haven't. See, I have no tattoos, but I would like to put a little picture of my cat. That's funny. See, do you and your family have a zombie apocalypse bug out bag and escape plan? I have friends who have told me to do that, but we don't. And I think the problem is like where we live, like you're in Nashville, it's like, where am I going to go? And if it's at that point, there's going to be heat sensing drones that are just going to knock you out wherever you are. Like there's no hiding at this point. But there's a Twilight episode that I love because I love old Twilight zones. And I always think about it. It was like this family that was like preparing for something like that. And they had like a shelter, and everybody in the neighborhood scoffing at them, laughing at them. And then something happens, and they can't let anybody in. And the neighbors are freaking out because they're going to die. And just like classic Twilight Zone. Makes you feel a little sick. Great to watch before going to bed. See, Azure TV. Thank you. Have you ever looked into the Chestnut Ridge people of West Virginia? Similar to the Melungeons and Creoles, they're triracial and still around. Chestnut Ridge. I've definitely read about that in primary sources. I'm going to write that down because I think that would be a really cool video to make. I love doing those kind of niche videos because like people come out of the woodwork and they're like, hey, that's my family. Hey, that's, and I love that the videos find the right people to kind of help them along on their ancestry journey. So if you have any sources or anything that I could look at, that would be awesome. I would definitely love to see that. Let's see here. Yeah, you remember that episode? Yeah, it's really good. I just absolutely love the old Twilight episodes. I grew up watching those, and I don't want to like throw my dad under the bus here, but I also watched X-Files with him when I was a kid. And it was like I was half into it and half just terrified, but I couldn't tear myself away. And some of those X-Files episodes, let me just say this, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. Some of those X-Files episodes are so scary and insane that they have been taken off the air. You can Google that. I don't want to give you too much. But yeah, let's see. Richard Williams, have you ever researched the Lumbee tribe? Yes. I actually did 2 videos on the Lumbee a year or 2 ago. And it was really interesting because I had put my DNA into GEDmatch. And I think I was connecting with Lumbee. Like they had a project. And I don't know if anyone can tell me in chat, but I think they might have just gotten federal recognition. I'm not totally sure. But I matched with so many of them. And so I was just trying to figure out how did that happen. So I did a couple of videos on them. And it's interesting. A lot of them look like my family in Louisiana, but they sound totally different. Like they have such an interesting, different dialect. And I share some of that in the video if you guys want to check that out. Let's see. Do you like the episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy just wants to read? He doesn't care if it's a nuclear fallout. Yeah, and that's the one where he steps on his glasses, though, right? They're amazing. I think the one that spoke to me the most when I was in 8th grade, I switched schools. So I went to a new school in 8th grade, and I was really self-conscious, and I had like these kids that was just harassing me about how I looked. I mean, like truly getting bullied, where I'd go home crying like every day. And then I think maybe my dad, he was reminding me about like the Twilight episode where it was like this really pretty girl, and they're telling her she has to get surgery to look like everyone else, and everyone else has like a pig face because she just like doesn't want it. And they're like, "You're ugly, you're gross." It's because she doesn't have the pig face. And it has helped me to just remember like so much about our experiences, just how people treat you. It's relative to them, and you can't let other people's perspective bother you because they may think you're gross, but they think pig faces are beautiful, right? So the Twilight Zone is amazing. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit behind here. I did not have cable growing up as a kid. I wasn't allowed to watch anything at all, which is probably a thing to thank my mom for. We couldn't afford cable. When I was really little, I remember my mom would borrow a VCR. If you're young, you might have to Google what that is. But my mom would borrow a VCR from my grandmother so we could watch tapes on the weekend from the library. Like that's where we were at when I was a kid. So no, I did not have cable at all. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down. My oldest son would cry as soon as the X-Files music started playing. He was so scared we couldn't watch it when he was awake. Sarah Woods. Yeah, the music is insane. There are some episodes that still haunt me. Like there's stuff like I can't remember Russian. I was speaking Russian in college with Russian professors from Moscow. Okay, that's all forgotten. But there are episodes of The Twilight Zone that are burned in my head when I go to sleep and close my eyes. I just see it and I'm horrified. So it got deep into my psyche. Let's see. My DNA must be on every database in America. Oh, I'm sure. But guess what? Like they already like. There's no hiding at this point. Like it doesn't. And also, I did it so long ago. But I mean, look, I'm here. I'm out there. Like I'll take them for the team. I'm not super worried. Like I think all the authorities are totally creepy, but I'm not really concerned about them having my DNA. Like I know they're doing terrible things with it, but it's like, what can I do? Let's see. I see a bunch. Have I ever? Oh my gosh, Eric Kidder 2040 said, "Have you ever looked in a mirror in a 100% dark room at midnight and turned around with your eyes closed while clapping and saying Bloody Mary 3 times?" I was at a sleepover party when I was about 12, and the girls were doing this, and I was so scared I wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do that, but I'm going to tell you, if I wake up at night, I need to get like a drink of water or something. I will not look at myself in the mirror at night. I'm like afraid to. I don't know. This is getting like a little like. All my weird problems are coming out. I need to like close this up a little bit. Do you have any recommendations for books on American history? I'm just enough 215. So I like reading all books, even if they're like I like disagree with them and they're not really maybe well written, even because I think it is good to read things and disagree with it and kinds of sharpens like your reaction to what you're reading, not just like taking it in, but being like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Let me figure out like what's wrong with this? Um, that being said, there was a book that I read in college. I feel like it was called A Different Mirror, and I can't remember the author's name, but it was like it was just an interesting perspective on, I think, how America is really very multicultural. And I mean, this was before this was even like a thing to talk about, really, because this was back in maybe 2004, 2005. So I really like that book, and I still have it. And I also have a book on my bookshelf, but I can't grab it. Bernard Balin wrote some really interesting books about the beginning of America. They're like real small. I have like real old ones. Um, and again, it's not like I agree with everything in these books, but they got me thinking, which I really always appreciate that. Um, let's see here. Let me scroll down. Have you done R&B before? You did Elvis as the music artist, but have you done people like Aaliyah, for example? No. I did do a video with a friend that does bluegrass music about Beyonce's country album like a year or two ago when that came out. It was really just talking about like the origins of bluegrass, and he lives in the Appalachian area, so we were talking about that. But I haven't really touched on that. Let's see here. Someone said, "What's a VCR?" Yeah, what is a VCR actually? Do you guys remember Be Kind and Rewind? Let's see here. Sarah Wood said, we didn't watch TV except Grandpa watching the news. My husband introduced me to South Park and Beavis and Butthead. Oh, I wasn't even allowed to bring up Simpsons or Beavis and Butthead. Like, I would get in so much trouble. We didn't watch that. Yeah, it's crazy because not having cable, like, I kind of missed a whole thing. But I did watch Saved by the Bell and Family Matters, like those two shows. I loved watching them. So yeah, I watched those. Hi, Sarah. It's good to see you. Let's see. Christopher Wellman said, I've been working on Moby Dick for 20 years. I've just absorbed chapters every now and then. Let me tell you, I took a whole class on that book. I love that book. I have like 5 copies of Moby Dick. It's really crazy book. And you realize how hard of a hit your attention span has taken when you try to read something like that. When you try to read something that's difficult and is not easy to digest, it's so good to do that. So if I'm reading a book like that, I'll turn my phone off and like put it like under my mattress or something, so I'm not grabbing it, and just try to really work through like the text that's hard. It's good because I think we don't challenge ourselves, as much as I think people used to. Let's see. GR Awake and Dream. You look a bit like Aaliyah now that someone mentioned her, more than a bit, to be honest. Let me tell you a funny story. I have a niece who just turned 6, and she lives far away. And so I hadn't seen her, and we, like, for a while. So I went and saw her when she was 5, and she insists that I look like Cardi B. And I was like, first of all, why do you know who that is? Secondly, I don't see it at all. But she was like really excited about it. And she's so cute, but also, why does she know that? I never can see anything like that. I can never see anything like that. I feel like, I can't think of anyone that I'd be like, I look like that person. Like, I can't think of anyone. I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's because I'm using my hands. It's doing that. I also read Dracula, which is really good. And Frankenstein, those are all really good. F. Austin said, watching Saved by the Bell and Family Matters only may have traumatized you more. Yeah. I loved Saved by the Bell so much. And it's just crazy, like, how young I was watching that, though. Did you read The People's History of the U.S.? I bought it. I haven't read it. And I don't know why. I buy a lot of books, like a lot of books, and I buy books before I have finished reading the books I just bought. So next to my bed is like a huge stack of books, and I will read a little bit from this, a little bit of that, whatever. So I bought that book, but I still haven't read it, even though I know a lot of people, they probably have assumed I'm just regurgitating that book, but I've actually never read it. I think it's by Zinn something. I can't remember his name. let's see here. I wish I could figure out how to do the screen share. I'm afraid to try it because, oh, it says share screen. Okay, I'm going to try to do that and bring you guys over to the Library of Congress to just show you a little bit of that. I don't know if it's going to allow me to do that. Hope it doesn't do something terrible. Okay, let's try it. Let's see. Oh no, look at it did. It made like 1 million of us. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Did you see that? That was like a Doctor Strange. There was like 2 million. All right, maybe I can't figure that out. I'll try again in a few minutes. Let's see. Howard Zinn. Okay, yeah, there, that was his name. For some reason, I had like another name in my head. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to see anything on MTV at all. Someone just said Howard Zinn was a communist. Interesting. I just got an email from someone. I don't want to say their name, especially since I haven't written them back yet. I just saw it right before I got on here. But it is a theology professor who wrote me after seeing one of my videos this week, and they wanted to thank me for not presenting the content as a cultural Marxist. And they said it made it so they could actually listen to me and learn from me, which I thought was interesting. I don't really have a label for anything I'm doing. And like I said, I will read anybody's book, and I will read things with an open mind. I may walk away just being like, wow, that person's a total idiot. But it's just interesting when people bring up certain things. Like I said, I've been accused of just trying to regurgitate Howard Zinn on my channel. And like I said, I've never read any of his stuff before. So I think it's a little bit of people may not listen to what you have to say if they hear certain names or certain phrases, which is too bad. And I definitely wouldn't describe myself as a cultural Marxist. But again, I think that's the label that gets put on certain topics, whether it's fair or not. So I just thought it was interesting. I just got that email from him. So I don't know. It was interesting. Have I looked up the New Orleans old jail booking pictures from early 1900s from Mr. Motion? No. I'm writing that down. New Orleans. I just got this really nice pen for my husband, and I wrecked it. And so I'm like scratching into the paper. New Orleans booking pictures. I don't know what that is. That sounds so interesting. I love seeing the old pictures. Super into them. Let's see. Let me catch up. I'll send a link. That would be awesome. Thank you for sending that to me. All right. I want to try to share one more time on the Library of Congress page and not share 2 million of my screen with you guys. I'm going to try one more time. Share screen. Allow. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it's going to let me. Darn it. I know people do it. People do it, but I don't know how to figure it out. Okay, well, I may have to do another live stream where we do that, because that would be cool. Let's see. How did you get into reading books, studying, etc.? I think part of it is I'm just naturally very curious. I love learning. I really love learning. I was homeschooled when I was young, and that worked so well for me. I mean, this was in the 90s, but I could get my stuff done and then just learn about whatever I wanted. We'd go to the library and I'd just take out tons of books, and it was just amazing to me that I could just learn about whatever I wanted. It was just like the whole world's open to you. So I love that. But the other part was, I was saying in 8th grade, I had so much trouble fitting in school. And so I spent my lunch times reading and just kind of a little bit of a loner. So reading felt like a safe escape. You can go into your own world and do that. So, and still kind of is. I'm trying to read before bed instead of being on my phone before bed. It's so hard. We have such bad habits now, but I'm trying to get more into that. Let's see here. It says weirdest. Let's see, the F Bill Gates. I said, we're the same age, so I know you remember the O.J. Simpson trial. I do. What was the reaction to the verdict? Knew as a child lived, or did you agree with the verdict? So I think I was too young to really know what was going on. I did watch it. I remember watching it in my parents' bedroom, And I think one of the parts that really stayed with me was just the chase in the white Bronco. Because the other day, I don't know if I was just driving around Nashville, but somebody had one of the new Broncos. It was white, and I think their license plate was like OJ. I remember I laughed, and then I was like, the only reason I'm laughing is because it's so far removed now culturally, but like that's a crazy thing to have and to put on there. But I'm like really sensitive to violence, like really sensitive. I think my husband had like jumped in on the chat last Saturday about this, but I can't watch the news. It really, really bothers me. And so I couldn't handle watching the details of that trial. I mean, especially as a kid, I could not. So, and I've never really looked into it again. Like, I'm not a true crime person. I do not want to hear the macabre, horrific details about what happened to some poor soul. Like, I'm just not about to do that. So I can handle like the old Twilight Zones. Like I said, I can't even handle the X-Files anymore. So, yeah. Have I gone to East Tennessee to interview a Melungeon person? So I have done interviews with the president of the Melungeon Heritage Association, Heather Andolina. I did that, and I've interviewed some other people. And you can see that in my Melungeon playlist. The Melungeon Heritage Association does a conference every year, and they had asked if I wanted to be like a keynote speaker next spring at it, and I don't know if it'll work or even where it is or anything. But that might be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or what the details are on that. See, someone said the Bill Gates guy must not be showing up for me. I'm not seeing him yet. He's in here somewhere. Yeah, so, okay, I really wanted to do a screen share with you guys, but I just don't know how. I need a tech help. And I can't blame it on anybody but myself because I have no one to blame. Well, maybe I can do another one like that. All right. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna click around and see if I missed any of the super chats. I didn't even know what super chats were until like last time. It's so crazy because I've actually never been on a live stream until I started doing them for my, like with you guys. Like I never watched them. I never had done it. And so I feel like I'm like so out of touch with stuff. I'm so out of touch. Let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit. We'll probably stand for like 8 more minutes or so. And then I'm going to go and make a pot of coffee. F. Austin said, what's your favorite type of literature? Literature or media? Biographical, documentary, fiction, poetry, sci-fi. I am obsessed with science fiction. I love Philip K. Dick. I have read probably all of his books and short stories. Some of them are crazy. And if you're not familiar with him, like Blade Runner is based on his book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is a phenomenal book. There's another story, I think it's called Time Out of Joint, which is what The Truman Show is based on. I might be mixing that up with another one, but a lot of his, and also Minority Report is one of his short stories, but it got changed a lot. I think like it got changed a lot from the short story to the movie. There was another one, but a lot of movies have been based on his short stories. But he was a writer from I think the 50s and 60s, and I love Russian literature so much. I just love reading. I mean, I really read everything. I don't read a lot of biographies. I don't know why. Maybe if I had a suggestion for a really good one, I would read it, but I don't read a lot of them. It's just not like what I grab. I don't read. I'm trying to think what I don't read. I have a lot of poetry books. I'm trying to see. My bookshelf is right here. I love reading apologetics and theology stuff. I like to be challenged in that area. So I've been digging into that a little bit too. And on that note, Pentazoid 111, any thoughts on the scientific theory of the Big Bang or the Big Bang? This is totally outside my wheelhouse. This is like asking a man on the street, just kind of like, how do you feel about this? I don't think we know what happened. I think the way that I would look at it is there has to be a first cause, like something caused maybe, the Big Bang or whatever. And I believe the first cause is God, because if there was a cause before that, like the buck has to stop somewhere, right? So I don't know how things got started. I just know that God started it. He would be the first cause, and the means that he used to do that, I don't know. And I like hearing people's theories about stuff, but it's not make or break it to me. I know a lot of Christians in particular are very upset about the Big Bang Theory. But I mean, clearly something big did happen. So, let's see, have I read the Dune books? Don't think I have. Oh, yes, A Scanner Darkly is another really good short story by Philip K. Dick. Like, they're really amazing. Um, have I read the Expanse or Foundation series? So I started to read the Foundation series. I want to tell you guys something though. I just really don't like I'm a Christian, so I really don't like when the Lord's name is taken in vain. I'm not talking about saying God, but when people are like saying like JC or something, like I hate that. I hate hearing it. And in that book, they just kept saying it over and over again. Philip K. Dick has stories like that too. I literally will stop reading it. It bothers me that much. So I feel like I missed out on the Foundation books because of that. But I started watching it on Apple, and it was good, but I feel like it's kind of slow. So I don't know if it'll come back. But I love sci-fi stuff so much, so I'm always looking for new stuff. The Foundation series, let me think. I might be mixing up. I think I was like, no, Foundations is different. No, we did read that, and I am reading the book right now. I'm thinking of another one. It's where they're going in the ground. What is that one called? They're living in like, gosh, where are they? They're living in the ground. I can't think what the heck it is. There was like a nuclear blast like in Atlanta, and they're like living in the ground, and there are books on it. Silo is what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's when I had to stop. No, the Foundation series is good. I'm reading it right now. Actually, I have the book right there. I'm looking at it, but I haven't finished it yet. Let's see here. Let me jump down. Brian said clearly something big did happen belongs on t-shirts. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, what's funny to me about what I see Christians do, which is confusing to me, is like argue about stuff that you literally just you don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Like, you can't pretend you know. We don't know. So don't like let that be a hill to die on. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. I just think that's interesting. My husband said Silo. Yeah, those are the books I had to get rid of. Let's see. Don't say you're good if you ain't. Don't speak the Lord's name in vain. Let's see. Julie's guitar. I'm an Appalachian Mullins, maternal, some Melangen, I guess. Definitely. What do you think would be the best DNA test to take? Well, before you take a DNA test, just make sure that like the rest of your life feels calm. I'm not joking, because I've taken almost all of them. And when I took the 23andMe test, so that one's good because it gives you your haplogroups, which is really helpful. Ancestry DNA is good because it really connects with your family tree. And my heritage, I think, matched my paper trail. But I'm sure you guys know this, but when I took the 23andMe test, I did it after my grandpa died, my mom's dad, and I had like all my family take it because I'm like, we need to save the side of the family. My grandpa's family is from Ireland. And then we took the test, and guess what? He wasn't my grandpa. Wasn't my mom's dad biologically. And we didn't know until I took the test. And so if you think you live in a family, you have a family where you're like, that could never happen, just make sure when you take the test, like you've got all your ducks in a row, and maybe you can field that information first because you really don't know what could pop up on there. I mean, like literally, it was like the most cliche drama, right? Because I literally just wanted to save the stuff. I was like, I just want to know about my Irish family on that side. It's like, oh, I'm not related to any of those people. It was totally crazy. It totally blew my mind. Let's see. Gardening with the Sun-Kissed Chick. Hey, did you get my message about my people, the Buffalo Ridge Turkey? Yes, I did. And I actually wrote it down because I don't know anything about that group. But I was going to research it and try to show what I find because I was super interested. So thank you for sending that to me. I appreciate it. And see, let me scroll down. Winslow, Red Cross. My family filed Cherokee claims in the early 1900s, but they were rejected. Yeah, I did a video on this. My family was on the Dawes Roll as Choctaw, and then they got kicked off, and then they got back on, and then they got kicked off again. And so I have the pictures of those like being rejected, and then you're back and then rejected. It's really interesting. I did a video on that. I think it's my Goins family, Goins. Let's see. So if you are avoiding the tests, like the tests are helpful, and I guess it's a situation where like I'd rather know if something was wrong. But let's see, Logan Duss. What do you think of AI generating images of 14th century England and making everyone black? I think AI generated pictures or like, here's the thing with these pictures. First of all, just as an aside, we can all tell that they're AI generated now. Like you're not fooling anyone. And I think they can be used. Like if you want to show an event that happened and you're like, we don't actually have footage of this because cameras weren't invented. And you're like, just like, you know, but trying to pass stuff off is so embarrassing. Because I think we've all like, we all know. I think it's weird to also make stuff up if it's made up stuff. I haven't seen those pictures. But like I said, I did the video on the AI slap, and it's like, it just, I think we're going to see more and more of that, for sure. Just people just using AI to, manufacture whatever they want, which is creepy. Panazoid, do you ever eat at Olive Garden? Yeah, I do. Once a year, and I love it. And that's not because it's good Italian food, it's just because it's trashy and it's fun. And I love the salad. Literally, I have ordered it. I listen, you know about the tattoo, now you're gonna know about the salad. Like I'm not a fancy girl. Okay. I literally loved that Olive Garden salad with that dressing, and it's so bad because I try to make most of our food at home from scratch. But every now and then, I mean, you can only do that, you can't do that 100%. So my other 15% definitely includes the really trashy Olive Garden salad with their trashy dressing, for sure. Let's see here. I saw my husband say something, but I can't find where he is. Okay, I'm scrolling up because I see him saying something about bangs, but I don't know why. Please get bangs. Oh, it's because my hair is in my eye, I'm sure. You know what it is? See, that's not going to work. I just blew it dry, and it's like not staying in this clip. It's just sliding out. It's bothering me so much. So I had fake bangs a long time ago that clipped in, and my husband really did not like them at all. So I won't do that again because we have an understanding of if the other person doesn't like it, like I don't want to do a thing that you really hate. But my hair's definitely bothering me right now. Let's see here. Scroll down. My fan of Henry Gates. So I have a Dr. Gates, Skip Gates story. So this is he has the show where he's digging into people's ancestry. For some reason, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. What the heck is it called? What is wrong with me tonight? I don't know. I need to go make a pot of coffee. But anyway, they had like an open call to be on this show for like a normal, regular person. And so I submitted my video to get on, and I had my YouTube channel. It's like 2 years ago. And you had to like have a family tree, like wall or whatever. And they didn't pick me. And I can't tell you how much that turned me against him. So I haven't seen this show since. I guess it's just sour grapes. Let's see. So I know he does his work, but I just wish he had picked me. Do I have pets? I do. We have a dog that weighs more than I do. And that's a lot. He weighs a lot. He's big, and he doesn't like to take walks. And he's an old English bulldog, and his name is Nacho. Let's see. Scrolling down, tattoos and salads. Sounds like the name of your autobiography. Except I really don't eat salad, just only the trashy Olive Garden one. Let's see, fake bangs. Yeah, maybe I'll wear the fake bangs on the next live stream. I'll have to take them off though. Oh yeah, finding your roots. I literally don't know why I couldn't get that. That's so embarrassing. There's another show. It's like, so who do you think you are? And it's British people doing it, I think. And that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so Finding Your Roots had this open call. Let me tell you, when I submitted this thing, I in my heart was like, oh, I'll for sure get it. Of course they'll pick me. Like, I have the channel. I'm working really hard to figure out, my family story. whatever. And so, yeah, I got real burned. You can Google, like, go to my channel, and you can, it's probably from a year or two ago. Just type in "finding your roots" and you'll see, you'll see the sob story. Um, let's see. Joseph Camp 8602 Danielle, what do you think about what Michelle Obama said about black hair and white society? So I actually did see that. I think, I mean, it was like a really short clip I saw, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was just saying that as a black woman, she just feels like she has to keep her hair a certain way in order to be seen as accepted or respectable or whatever. I would go as far as to say, I don't necessarily think it's like it's a black white divide, but my natural hair is very frizzy and tangly, curly, thick, depending on the length. And which I like it, but I also do feel, let me say how to say this. I definitely have felt a difference between how I was treated when my hair was straight and blonde, which I did once a couple years ago, and like, or just blown out. Like my hair right now is just blown out with like a blow dryer thing, or if it's just natural. I definitely do notice a difference between how I'm treated, 100%. Definitely skewing towards you get treated better in general if your hair is not frizzy and curly. And that's not to say like now you just don't wear your hair natural, but if you haven't experienced that like divide of like, wow, I'm really am being treated differently, you're kind of sometimes like, well, I don't want to be treated differently. Now that's not why I have it like this now. It's because I'm homeschooling 3 kids and doing the YouTube channel. And curly hair is a lot of work. Like it's a crazy amount of work. And so when I blow it dry straight, it's like, except today now it's getting my way, but it's not that much work, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, the hair thing is a thing. That's definitely a thing. So if we want to see Gardening with the Sun-Kissed Chick, if we want to send you a book, where do we send it to? You can email me and I can give you an office address. So if you go to my channel page, there's a contact me button and that has my email address. Just shoot me an email and I'll send you an address. Let's see here. Will they release the podcast episode with Malcolm Jamal Warner? Are you talking about with me? Because I shared this last week, but I didn't end up getting on there because we were scheduled for like a week after he ended up passing away, or 2 weeks or something. But I explained that in the live stream from last week, so I don't have it. Let's see here. Curly hair is a lot of work. Yeah, it's like so much work. It's crazy, and like I would have to plan so much around it if I was like showing up to something important or the weather or whatever. And so, like I said, the Michelle Obama thing, I didn't see the whole thing, but it's true that it's a lot of work. And I know some people, I should say, are just blessed with easier. Maybe their hair is not that much work, but the amount of money I have spent on curly hair things, special haircuts, going to special salons, having them wreck your hair, you're crying. I'm crying in the car after spending a ton of money. It's like I just needed a break from that. So that's why I'm just blow drying it out right now. I just needed a break from that. Will I do a video of blonde hair? No, no, but I will post a picture of it on here if you want to see it. My kids didn't like it. They were upset by it. My husband liked it. I don't think he liked it more necessarily, but he's pretty just chill. He's like, except for the bangs. He's like, no bangs, but he was like blonde didn't seem that bad to him. But I feel like I was like a totally different person. It was weird. And like, I felt like I had to tell people, like if someone said something to me, I'd like to say, no, like my hair's dyed. I don't know. It was weird. I felt weird. Did I go to a white or black salon? I went to a Puerto Rican salon. When I say that, like, I'm not just saying it, like I'm guessing, like these ladies were all from Puerto Rico and they did the best. I've had other places where I can just tell they're not like, you just know, like when you get in that chair and you just like, if someone started cutting my curly hair wet, like I just knew it was over. I'm like, you don't even know what's going on if it's wet. And so I have definitely paid a lot for haircuts. I always leave a good tip. Even if I hate it, I leave a good tip because it's like, I need to get out of there and I don't want a problem, and then go in the car and just cry and then try to fix it. So, yeah. Let's see here. Well, I think I need to go because my great husband is with the 3 kids and I half started decorating for Christmas. Well, what that means is I pulled everything out, left it on the ground, and was kind of hoping a magical elf would hang it up outside. And usually he is that magical elf, but right now he's watching all 3 kids and giving them dinner. And so I'm going to go. But thank you so much, you guys, for being here with me. And I will definitely find a picture of blonde. I left my eyebrows dark in it. I don't know how to post it without it being weird, though. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'm afraid it's going to be kind of disturbing to share it. It feels like it's a very weird time in my life. But yeah, if you have any ideas for videos or anything, please let me know. I always take notes on everything you guys say. My 10-year-old got me this little notebook. She said for YouTube video ideas. She's so cute. And so I really do write everything in here, and it's so tiny. So let me know what you think. And yeah, I love reading all the comments and stuff. Thank you for being with me. I would love to do this more. Next Saturday, we're traveling for Thanksgiving, so we're going to be out of town. I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully after that, maybe we can do it every Saturday. That'd be so fun. All right. Anyway, okay. Well, I'll talk with you guys later. Okay. See you.